it's Brittany and welcome back to Britmas 2018. Now, today's video, I am super excited to share this with you guys. And I'm wearing the Exorcist shirt because I'm sure you guys can see from the title what this video is about. So I thought this was very appropriate. And also I got this shirt at H&M in the men's section for $10. So this whole video is about the time that I took part in an exorcism at the actual Exorcist house in St. Louis, Missouri. Yes, this house is what inspired The Exorcist. I was about to do something else with my shirt, but it didn't really come off as cool when I was thinking about it in my head. So Exorcism Live. This was what, 4 years ago or something, 2014. And I was at the Exorcist house and I was with the guys from the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, the Ghost Asylum, and whatever their other show is called, I forget, but now they're on Travel Channel. And I was with Chip Coffey. Like, this was one of the best experiences of my life, and in my paranormal career, this was a huge deal for me. So how did this all start? How did I get casted to be on the show, which was so amazing? So, months prior to when they finally told me that I was on the show, I was corresponding with Destination America, like back and forth for a while now, and they contacted me. And I was talking to two producers. They really liked my channel, they liked my personality, and they were just kind of interviewing me on the phone numerous times. Did we do Skype? I'm not really sure. Maybe we did do Skype, but I know I talked to them on the phone a lot. We talked through email a lot. They really wanted to make a paranormal show, and they just didn't, they had no idea what they were doing. I mean, they knew what they were doing, obviously, because they're producers and they have all these other shows and everything. And I was so excited because Nick Groff, if you guys know him from Ghost Adventures, and now he has a show called Paranormal Lockdown, he was on Destination America. So I was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I was just going all crazy in my head, or just thinking too far ahead, you know what I mean? They wanted to know how I got to the paranormal, who my inspirations are, and what shows I grew up watching, and what really motivated me to finally go after my dreams and not listen to BS from people in my life who kept saying you can't do this, you're wasting your time, this is so stupid, and you know what I mean? So I think they liked hearing that story, and I told them that the show that really motivated me, if you've been an OG or for Brady 44. Why do I always talk like Brady 44 is somebody else? I am Brady 44. But if you've been an OG subscriber of mine, or if you've been with me for years, you know Paranormal State is the show that just motivated me so much to go after my dreams. And Ryan Buell, I haven't said his name in so long on this channel. Ryan Buell was everything to me. He was just my biggest idol, and I just wanted to be just like Ryan Buell. And I don't know, maybe I should make another story time of why he's not my idol anymore and all the BS that went down with him. Maybe I'll make that a separate story. I don't even know if you guys want to hear. I made a video about it years ago, but maybe I'll do an update and stuff and kind of my feelings today. But I told them about that and everything, and how Chip Coffey, because they said, oh, what's Paranormal State? So I said, oh, you guys know Ryan Buell and psychic medium Chip Coffey. And that's when they said to me, Chip Coffey, we're friends with Chip Coffey. I was like, oh my God, really? That is so cool. They're just yeah, we're actually seeing him tomorrow or something, because they actually were already working on Exorcism Live and I didn't know about it. So I think they might have been trying to see if I was a good fit or not for that show. I don't know, because they were telling me that they wanted to create another show on Destination America and they wanted me to be in it. They just didn't know what exactly to do. But I think they were also looking for someone to be on Exorcism Live. And I guess they just, I don't know what was going through their minds, you know what I mean? They were super nice and we just corresponded back and forth a lot, and I was really excited at the time. I just wanted to scream at the top of my lungs, oh my God, Destination America, they're interested in me. I was so freaking excited, guys. So I was literally talking to Destination America, I would say for 2 months, maybe 3 months, and it was consistent. And I mean, they followed me, so I thought that was a good sign. The producers followed me on my social media. Destination America followed me, so I was this is looking like a good sign. So one day I checked my email and it said all I saw were like the keywords. I saw chip coffee and exorcism and they want me in it. And I was like, in my head, as I was reading that was like in the subject or something. And I remember as I saw that, I was like, oh my God, they want me to perform an exorcism on somebody. Like, I've never been involved in an exorcism. You know, I just like to, what I do is very simple. I look for ghosts. You know what I mean? Like, maybe sometimes I do cross the line. Not really cross the line, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I sometimes may look for bad spirits, borderline evil. Like, the most evil place that I've been to is definitely Chillingham Castle, but you know, demonic stuff I don't really get involved in. Yes, I'm very fascinated, and you know, I read about it all the time, and I've done some stories on my channel. I'm very much, you know, interested in it. I like reading about it, but would I want to put myself in that situation with demons? Not really, but you know, that's kind of controversial because people say like, oh, what you're doing, like demons can come through. Yes, I mean, like I said, guys, nobody knows anything about the paranormal. Nobody knows anything. We won't know until we die. You know what I mean? So the people who think they know everything, like, how do you know that? Like, you're not gonna know until you die. And I know, like, I'm just trying to get evidence and stuff. You know what I mean? So when I saw those words together, I was just like freaking out because I've never done an exorcism before. I mean, I've watched videos of exorcisms, I've listened to audio and stuff, and it's very disturbing. Very disturbing. I think I should actually make a whole video about the real life story of The Exorcist. I think I will do that. I should have done that before this video, but you know, whatever. It will come probably after Christmas, and I want to do more exorcism videos as well, like other cases and stuff, so. So I'm finally reading the email and, you know, processing the words and everything, and I'm like, okay, it's actually not an exorcism on a person, it's an exorcism on a house, the Exorcist house in St. Louis, Missouri. And I had to read it a few times because I couldn't believe it. And they said, we want you to be with Chip Coffee. And guys, it was so like, I couldn't believe what I was reading. Like, I was so excited. I remember I called my parents and stuff. I was like, oh my God, they want me to be on TV. And they were like saying it's live TV and stuff. So I was reading like the details and stuff, and they've been planning this show for like the past 2 years. So it's not like it's brand new. Like, shows take a while. So they were planning it for like 2 years or something, or I don't know, something like that. That's what Chip Coffee told me, that it was like kind of being talked about for the past 2 years before it happened, you know? So, and the email was saying that they wanted me to be a part of the Ouija board session with Chip Coffee, and I would be beside him, and I just couldn't believe it. So they wanted to get on the phone with me the next day. So that's what we did. They called me and they're just like, you know, congrats, we're super excited for you to be a part of the show. We know that you are a fan of Chip Coffee, and yeah, like, it's so weird how it just came to be. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't even know. So they said like, okay, we will see you next week. They flew me down, they put me in a hotel, like a really nice hotel. And it's really funny because Chip Coffee, his room was actually right next door to mine, but I didn't even know that until the end of this whole thing. So I don't know, it was really funny. So I flew down there and I was so nervous, guys. Like, because I think the live TV thing just really got to me, and the fact that I'd be with Chip Coffee, who I've been watching since I was like 16 years old, ever since Paranormal State came out. So this was like a dream of mine. I was also gonna be with Ouija board expert Robert Murch, is that his last name? And he was so nice as well. So he was a part of the Ouija board session, and then psychic medium Vicky, I forget her last name, oh my God. So it was the 4 of us doing the Ouija board session. So anyways, I flew down, and I don't know what day I flew down, and I was in my hotel and I was waiting for them just to like give me more info and stuff. And they said that, so there's like, okay, this was so freaking professional, guys, like so professional. There's so many people that you're corresponding with, and so the producer, sorry, I'm just kind of saying what's coming to my head, you know what I mean? So one of the producers said that they will meet me on the set, like outside of the Exorcist house, and the other producer wouldn't be able to make it. So I met one of them. But anyway, so the night before I actually went to set, or not the producers, other people, other crew members or whatever, they were emailing me, giving me the whole layout of the day and the different times and everything, and the names of everybody who's involved in Exorcism Live. So I'm just like reading it and everything, and I don't really know that many people. I know Chip Coffee, of course. So like that's what I was just so excited for. So they said a car will pick you up tomorrow at your hotel and take you to the Exorcist house. So I was like, okay. And I had no idea that Chip Coffee was also sharing this car with me. They didn't tell me. I don't know if they didn't tell me on purpose. So it was the next morning. I was doing my makeup, my hair, getting my outfit. I made sure to wear all black. Yeah, I went downstairs to where they told me to, I mean, I ate breakfast and stuff too, but I went down to where they wanted me to wait for this car to come pick me up. So I opened up the door and Chip Coffee is just sitting there. And he immediately knew who I was because I think they obviously told him like, Brittany, her name is Brittany44 on YouTube, like look her up and stuff, and she's gonna be joining you for the Ouija board. So yeah, I don't know, he knew who I was right away, and I think he knew like I was a fan and stuff. So I was like, oh my god, I didn't know that you were gonna be here and stuff. So we were talking and everything on this bench and just waiting for the car to come up, and I told him like, I watched you on Paranormal State, like that was my show, that was the show that inspired me to like go after my dreams, and like I just went on and on and on, and he was very flattered. He was really nice, and he just said like, you're so bubbly, like I've never seen someone so bubbly before. I was like, hopefully that's like a good thing and stuff. And he's like, so are you nervous? He was just kind of giving me advice, and I met his assistant. His assistant was really nice as well, and yeah, we just kind of chatted, and then finally the car picked us up. We sat beside each other in the car and we drove, or the driver took us to the Exorcist house. And I was trying not to, you know, I was trying to be really cool and like calm and collected, even though I was like super excited. But and this is kind of like, if you guys watched when I was on Urban Legends and stuff, I was so insecure with myself, and I had to impress every single person in the room with me. Like I had to impress everybody. Everybody had to like me or it would drive me insane. And I was kind of like that on the set of Exorcism Live, because I wasn't to that extent that I was, because this was only like 4 years ago. But I wanted to make a really good first impression, because I'm meeting one of the producers that I've been corresponding with for the past few months now. They're the reason why I'm on the show. I wanted them to really like me in person, and we really hit it off in person, and like we were like hanging out and talking and everything. There were just so many people involved in this show. It was such a professional atmosphere, like so professional. So many crew members, like hundreds, I swear, there were like hundreds. It was crazy. And then I saw the Tennessee Wraith Chasers. I didn't meet them right away. We kind of just like waved to each other. But that was really cool seeing them. And we were all staying at the same hotel. Now the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, they were on the opposite side of the hotel, and then Chip Coffee and I, we were the only ones on this one side of the hotel. So I don't know if Destination America did that on purpose because they knew I was a fan. I don't know. I kind of feel like they did. I don't know. And I feel like they just kept like not telling me things about Chip Coffee just to kind of like surprise me, like the fact that we were taking the same car to the Exorcist house. So I met with the crew and everything, and I was kind of like shy, but I was trying not to be weird, and that's all that was going through my head. And you know, I kind of wish that I could be the person I am today. I feel like 2017 and 2018 are the years that I've really figured out who I am, and I've morphed into who Brittany Crab is supposed to be, and I just feel like I've grown so much. So I feel like these past experiences that I could have been the person that I am today, because I am a lot stronger. I'm not really scared of like people. I mean, people scare me, but like if I was to be on another set, I wouldn't be, you know what I mean? Oh my god, like I have to make a great first impression. So I mean, obviously that would be going through your head, but like it was just so much for me to take in, you know what I mean? Because it's just like happened overnight kind of thing. So that whole day was just rehearsals. And what I mean by rehearsals is everyone just had to figure out camera angles. Like the camera people had to get all the cameras ready, like the shots, where everybody's gonna be at their time that they're on TV, and like what your like cue is, I guess you can say, and just kind of organizing where everybody will be so everybody kind of knows what's to come, if you know what I mean. So I mean, of course we didn't do like a Ouija board session inside of the house during the daytime. They just wanted to make sure everybody knew what we had to do. Like I knew I was going in there to do a Ouija board session, but they wanted to make sure you knew exactly where you're sitting, and just like when you're going in, and when you should be at the side of the house waiting to go in. But you know what? And I was kind of like nervous about that. I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't mess this up. And it's all on live TV, right? So everything, people have to know what they're doing. The people who are behind the cameras and of course the people in front of the cameras. Everybody has to know. They have to be on time with everything. You know what I mean? So that was kind of nerve-wracking to me, but I wasn't like in the full show. The show wasn't about the Ouija board session. That was a good part of it, which I thought was really awesome, but wasn't like the main part. The Tennessee Wraith Chasers at the end with the priest, wasn't that the main part? To be honest, I kind of forget. So throughout the day, you know, we had breaks and everything, and they had to put a microphone like through my shirt and like under my skirt and everything and trying to position it. I don't know, it was just like, I really should have worn something else that day, but I just didn't know, like, you know, the microphone and everything. Now I know things, like you live, you learn, you know what I mean, you grow. So I mean, it was no big deal, but I kind of felt bad because it was kind of awkward to put my microphone on. So we had to like do that and just kind of be quick. And I was sharing a microphone with somebody. There were some people who were sharing with others. So if somebody was in the house before me, like for the actual show, and I was like on standby, they would like, when they were done or whatever, and maybe there was like a commercial, they would run out and like the crew would have to grab their microphone and like quickly put it on me. So we had some breaks during the day and stuff. And can I just say, the food, guys, like there was so much food. And you guys know, if you follow me on Twitter at Birdie44, I am obsessed with food. It's all I think about. It's all I like dream about. It's all I do. Like that is just like my favorite thing to do besides looking for ghosts and the paranormal, is like I love eating. So like there was just so much food, and I thought Urban Legends had like so much food and it was amazing. Like Exorcism Live has been the best set, the best professional atmosphere with so much food. Like I couldn't believe the food, and I was picking out. We had actually Mexican food for dinner the night like before the actual show. So the rehearsal day, that was like the whole day, everybody meeting each other, placements, making sure everybody knew their cues and microphones, everything. Like everyone just had to know everything, but we were all eating dinner together. So I actually ate dinner with Porter from the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, and he was so nice, and we were just like eating, and he was like talking to me about my YouTube channel and stuff. So I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe I'm actually talking to you. And he still follows me on Instagram today. So him and the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, they have a show on Travel Channel, which is called Haunted Live, I believe. So that is really cool. He was so nice. They were all so nice as well. And I think a few of them came over to us and were kind of eating dinner with us as well. But it was like so much Mexican food, and it was so freaking good. And before dinner and stuff, when we were like on breaks, or they were kind of dealing with, I think the host was just, they were just getting his placements for like the host of the show for where he was going to be standing, and he was just kind of going over his lines, what he's going to say and everything. So they asked me, Brittany, do you want to actually go inside the house and kind of go on a tour? So I was like, heck yes. And I mean, I didn't say that out loud. I was just like, sure. Like I was trying not to be like crazy. So I was like, okay, sure. But in my head, I was like, whoa, like I was dying. So we walked in the front door. To be honest, guys, like I mean, you guys know me. I was so calm, and just like when I go into haunted places, I'm so excited, but like I just don't get scared. Like I live for this stuff. So I remember I went in all the rooms, and I went up the stairs. I went into the bedroom where like majority of, you know, that's where like the exorcism took place and everything, on Roland Doe. And it was so weird standing in that bedroom. I can see myself standing in there right now. And I remember someone had those things. What are they? Like, they almost look like the triangle that people play. What are those things? And apparently if you hold them, if they turn into you or they can turn out, it means things. To be honest, it's like the pendulum. Like, I'm not really into that. And when we were in the room, they like supposedly turned in on us these rods or whatever. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't even know. I don't use them, but I think they're interesting. But it's just kind of like the pendulum. Like you just could be moving it, you know what I mean? And you don't really know it. So when they turned in, like my reaction was just like, oh. Like to me, I don't know. I don't really, it's just, I don't know. I mean, whatever, like if you believe in that, like that's cool and stuff. I'm not saying I don't believe in it, but like I just, you know, other people would be like, oh my God, like that's such a bad sign. But like I was totally calm in this room. And then I was in this room by myself for like 5 to like 7 minutes. I don't know why. They just kind of like walked away. And then I just kind of stood, and I was walking around and just trying to see, like in the bedroom. I can't believe it. I was in the actual bedroom and I was trying to take it all in. I wish that I took more pictures, but I didn't want to seem unprofessional by having my phone out. You know what I mean? I did take some pictures, like selfies, or you know what I mean, but I just didn't want to seem unprofessional. But that's one of my regrets, is not taking pictures inside. Or maybe we weren't allowed to take pictures on the inside, because during the filming there was a family that lived in that house. I'm not sure if they still live in that house, but obviously like Destination America like hooked them up and like put them in like some hotel, and like we're paying for all like their meals and everything like that. But yeah, so I just kind of walked around, and I kind of wish that I could have vlogged on set, but at the same time, you know, I wanted to make a really good impression on everybody, and I just didn't want to seem unprofessional. I'm not saying that vlogging isn't unprofessional. I mean, look at celebrities on like movie sets, and you know, YouTubers who are filming movies and stuff. Like, everybody vlogs. That's like the thing today. So I mean, if I ever got another opportunity like that, I think I would kind of vlog some things, and I wouldn't be scared to do it. But I could have definitely have done that in that room, because I was all alone. But at the same time, I don't remember if we were even allowed to take pictures inside, because there was a family that lived there. So maybe that wasn't allowed, but we were allowed to take pictures on the outside, which is what I did. So I just walked throughout the house and everything, and I was just so calm. I mean, you feel, it's almost like you feel, it takes you back in time to when it happened, when the exorcism took place, and you kind of just, it's like you feel, it's almost like flashbacks going in your head, but you weren't actually there, but it's almost like you just feel the energy, you know what I mean? I never really felt threatened during the day, and I guess also too because I knew that there were people inside the house in other rooms, and there were people outside, like hundreds of people were there, you know what I mean? So I can't believe I was actually in that house. It was crazy. And the whole Ouija board scene, but we were in the front window on the right side, I believe, when we did that. So yeah. So it was cool that they let me go into the house during the day on the rehearsal day, just to like take a tour, and I don't know, it was so cool, guys. Like, this was such a cool experience. So after dinner, like when we had all the Mexican food and stuff, I think we had to stay for another hour or so, and they were just kind of telling us what is going on tomorrow. Like, tomorrow is the live show. These are the amount of viewers we are expecting, and just kind of, you know, if you want to promote it on your social medias and everything like that, then like please do. And these are the people who will be watching. Like, Nick Groff was supposed to be watching. I think Zach Bagans was watching. Didn't he like trash the show or something? I don't even know, but I remember like when they were saying that. I don't know, maybe that was a rumor. I'll get to that later. I don't even know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe it was just somebody saying something, because you know how Nick left Ghost Adventures, that was on Travel Channel, and then he moved to Destination America, so people just kind of were like some like rival they have between each other, you know what I mean? So I went back to the hotel, I went back in my car with chip coffee, like it was so freaking weird. And we were corresponding with everybody from the show, like the crew and everything, giving like everybody in the emails, like hundreds of names were like in this email, I swear to God, and just telling you like your call times and everything, and like just kind of breaking down what's happening on the show day. So that whole night, guys, when I got back to the hotel, I was like flipping out. I was just so nervous that whole night. I was like, oh my God, what is gonna happen tomorrow? Like, what if I get possessed? That was the thoughts that were going through my head. What if I actually get possessed? Like, this is a possession, or not a possession, this is an exorcism on a house, and not just a ordinary house, like an actual exorcism on the Exorcist house. So finally, it was the next morning. I woke up super early. I washed my face, took a shower, I did my hair, I did my makeup, and they wanted me to actually wear the same outfit that I wore for rehearsal, even though it was like so difficult to do my microphone and everything, but they really liked it. So they're like, wear this tomorrow. And a lot of other people had to wear the same outfit. So I mean, like, that's fine, you know, whatever. So I got another email saying that a car will pick me up at this time again. So I was like, okay. So I went down to where I had to meet the car last time. Chip Coffee was there, and the Tennessee Wraith Chasers were there. So we were all taking this giant like van together. And I remember on the way there, Chip did a Periscope live stream or whatever. I've never had Periscope. I don't even know if it's still a thing, but he did a live Periscope stream or whatever it's called, and I was in it. So if any of you watched it, let me know, because I tried to watch it after, but like it was too late. I think it was like over 24 hours or something. So finally we arrived on set, and guys, the food this day, like on show day, The food was amazing. There was food all day, coffee all day. Like, I was in heaven. I was in heaven because we're doing a paranormal show and then like surrounded by food. I remember there were so many coffee creamers. There was literally like 100 coffee creamers, all delicious flavors, and I couldn't even decide what I wanted. There was all these donuts, like boxes and boxes and boxes of donuts. Everything was set out on all these tables. Like, there were snacks like Ritz crackers, which I love. There's like all these chips, there were drinks, like all kinds of soda, water, like everything, like all this breakfast food. There was like all these buffets like happening everywhere, and you could eat whatever you want whenever you want. So I was in heaven. And I remember when the show was over and everything and everybody was leaving, they had so many snacks left over and they're just like giving them out to everybody. So I took so many, especially Ritz crackers. Like, I just like and I was eating it on the way home, or on the way to the hotel. I was like eating it, walking up to my room. I was eating it in my bed. Like, I literally probably gained like 10 pounds that day because all I did was eat. So the day of the show was kind of hectic. I mean, it was really amazing and stuff, but I think people were just kind of like, oh my God, like tonight we go live. So the host of the show was going over his lines and, you know, practicing with people who he introduces. So like, he practiced with me and stuff, like when I come on for the Ouija board and stuff, when he introduces everybody. And they asked me, like Destination America said, do you want to be called Birdie 44 or do you want to be Brittany Crab? And I said Brittany Crab. I just thought, I don't know, I just wanted to be Brittany Crab. So, and that's kind of what I'm trying to transition into now. Like, that's like a totally different video. And I remember I actually met one of my viewers that day. A lot of my viewers knew that I was there because I was promoting it on my YouTube channel and stuff. So I think this family lived like around the area and stuff. And I remember one of the assistants, I was just kind of outside of the house talking with the producers, and one of the assistants came over to me and they're like, Brittany, somebody is asking for you. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, I just thought it was a crew member. So I was like, okay. And I remember they were escorting me to like where the pylons were, because there were pylons, so cars can't, you know, come by and people can't walk because it's like everything's blocked off and everything. So they took me to the pylons and I saw this whole like family waving at me. So I was like, huh? So I was like, oh, maybe this is a viewer. And yes, they were so sweet and I talked to them for a while. They actually brought me like a present and like all this candy and stuff and a card, and I actually got to take them on a little tour. And I said, yeah, like I can walk you around for a bit. Like, I'm not really doing anything right now, so like that's totally fine. So I kind of like walked them over to like the cameras and everything and like the tents, and I kind of just took them on a tour. So yeah, that was really cool and it was really sweet and it just made my day and everything. Throughout that day there was a tent that was outside of the house. It was like a blue tent, and that's kind of where everyone would like chill. Like the Ouija board people would chill. So me and like Chip Coffee, Robert, and Vicky. So we just kind of chilled. Other people can come in. There was food and snacks. There were like heaters in there as well. Like there was food everywhere, guys. Like I was in heaven. And I remember the night of the show, because there was like a lot of controversy around it. And I remember where the pylons were to block off people for coming in, there were so many people. I would say like 50 people standing behind the pylons. This is like an hour before the show and even during the live show. And they were so against the exorcism on the house, saying like, leave it alone. Like, you don't want to open up another can of worms and stuff. Like, it was like a riot over there or something. Like, they were screaming. They weren't nice people, like everybody in that crowd. Like, they were just screaming nasty things and just saying like, don't do, I don't know. Or actually no, some of them might have been nice because I think they wanted like Satan to appear. And some of them who wanted Satan to appear were like cheering and stuff. And then like, so it was kind of like 50-50. And then the other half of people were just like, how dare you do an exorcism on this house? Like, that's already been, you know, it happened a long time ago. Like, you don't have to do this in this neighborhood, blah, 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 and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was kind of nerve-wracking, like, seeing that. And I was like, oh my God. And then the police came and were like trying to settle these people. And then, yeah. So finally, I was at the side of the house. I was getting ready to go on in for the Ouija board session. And guys, I was so nervous because I knew my friends were watching, I knew my family was watching, I knew that some of you guys were watching, so I was like really nervous about this. So I was standing in my spot, like behind the cameras and stuff, and the host, like as soon as we got back from the commercial break, introduced all of us. We all walked on. I looked so nervous. Then we went inside of the house. We took our seats at the table with the Ouija board, and I remember like just going through my head. I was like, oh my god, like, this is live, like none of this can be edited, you know, people are seeing this right now. I don't know if you can really see it in my face. I was just kind of like this the whole time, like, yeah. And that's kind of a nervous voice that I put on. Well, I don't put it on, it's like my nervous voice, because I'm not trying to be like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be calm and professional in this environment. So I just kind of talk monotone, I guess you could say. And I remember I was feeling pressure on my chest, and I remember I kept saying that throughout my whole part, like being at the table. And now, like looking back, was it something paranormal? You know, I think a lot of it was my anxiety with the cameras everywhere and the live TV, and how Chip Coffey's with me, and how like, oh my god, like I could totally ruin this whole show right now. And I think that kind of was getting to me, and that could have been the pressure on my chest. That's what I'm starting to think. At the time, I was like, oh my god, like I don't know what's happening to me. But I think, I mean, a lot of you guys were like, oh, you handled it really well and stuff. But when I watch it back, like you can tell, like I'm just kind of like, yeah, I definitely feel pressure in my chest. What do you feel? Like I had like no emotion. Because I just didn't want to be like, oh my god, we're at the Exorcist house, you know, like how I would be or something like that. And like, imagine I did do that. People would be like, what the heck? But yeah, so I mean, it could have been something paranormal. I just felt very tight and just like I couldn't breathe, but that could have been anxiety from being surrounded, like I said, with cameras. And so when our whole segment was over doing the Ouija board, it was a commercial break and we all walked out and stuff, and I just felt so relieved. And people were like, you did a good job, Brittany. The producers were saying, you did a good job, like you did a good job, girl, like, you know what I mean? Like I could tell you're nervous, but don't be nervous, like you did good, kind of thing. So I was like, all right. And then I started getting tweets from you guys being like, I just watched you, and you're like taking pictures of it and tagging me. So it was like, it was so much fun just reading that. And I was just so calm for the rest of the night and just watching the show live. I was actually sitting in the tent facing the house, and it's really funny too because all the neighbors who live in that neighborhood, they had like lawn chairs because they're allowed to watch, of course, and they were like just sitting on their lawns with like popcorn and just watching and everything. So it was just really funny seeing that. So the live show was over and everybody was like clapping and cheering and said like, good job, like that was everything, woohoo, like so good and stuff. And then I remember going back to the Zach Bagans thing, I swear somebody said, like one of the crew members said like Zach Bagans is tweeting about Exorcism Live and like being shady about it or something like that. I never saw the tweet, so I don't know if he deleted it. Like I don't even know if it really happened. So people were saying that about it. I was like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't hate me. Like if he was watching it at home, he would have seen me with the Ouija board. So I was like, oh no. But I don't know, whatever guys. But I just remember like eavesdropping. I'm like, what? Zach Bagans is watching. And like I know Nick Groff was watching as well, and he was like live tweeting about it. So it was very nerve-wracking. 2 guys from Ghost Adventures, you know what I mean? Even though Nick left. But Zach Bagans, like just knowing that he was watching, if he was watching, I don't know, because everyone was saying that. Like he's like trashing the show, or maybe not trashing it, but like he said something that was like shady. I don't know, because I never saw anything. So I don't know, let me know if you guys remember that, because I don't. But I was like, no, I don't want him to hate me. But you know, whatever. So we got back in the car. I was with Chip again, and we went back to the hotel. I had like all my Ritz crackers with me and everything. I was like eating in the car, like, and we just said like it was a good show, and we were talking some more. And that's when Chip and I got into the whole Ryan Buell thing. If you guys remember, I was scammed by Ryan Buell, my ex-idol. He asked me, because he's like, you're from Toronto, so were you affected? I was like, yes, yeah. But I got my money back, and we were just kind of talking. I won't really say what he said, just for like respect for him, but he just said it was really like, you know, it wasn't a good situation, and you know, all the fans, because it was like the Canadian tour, right? And it was just crazy. If you guys want to make another story time about that, like I was crushed when I found out like this whole tour was fake. I mean, it wasn't fake, like it was Ryan Buell who was just taking his fans' money and wasn't even going to show up to the venues and stuff. And he's been doing this for years, taking his fans' money. So I was crushed, because like originally they said like, oh, we're postponing it, but really they never postponed it. It just was never happening. The venues never even knew about this whole Paranormal State tour thing. So And I remember Chip was doing interviews, like radio interviews and stuff about this whole Ryan Buell scandal and stuff. So he told me some things, and he said like, I know Ryan Buell is like not my idol anymore, but he will always, I sound like such a weirdo. He is the person, he really just pushed me to go after my dreams in the paranormal. And I thought that by meeting him on this tour, I just thought it would just motivate me even more, and it would just, my life would just be like rainbows and butterflies after like meeting him, because I just wanted to be him. Like he was my idol, he was everything to me, and I just wanted to be him so badly. So I was just crushed, if you guys remember that. I was so crushed over that whole thing. So Chip actually told me, he said, you remind me a lot of Ryan when he was starting out. And that just made me smile when he said that. He said like, you really do remind me of him. So I was like, thank you. Even though he took my money, even though I got it back, and he took all these other people's money, all of his fans' money, and I think he's in prison now. Is he not in prison? He was arrested, I know that. But yeah, so that just made me happy. I was trying to block out the negatives, and you know, he said, you don't remind me of him now, obviously, but when Ryan was, you know, a big paranormal star and how he started out in Paranormal State, he said, you really remind me of him. And that just, right now, like my heart's like, you know what I mean, like fluttering. It made me so happy when he said that, just coming from him. And I was like, thank you so much. Like this whole experience has just meant the world to me. Like I can't believe I did a Ouija board session with you, and like I don't know. And he was so nice. So I remember as we're like talking some more and stuff, because we talked like the whole day, right? And then like we just started talking about Ryan and Paranormal State when we got back to the hotel. So we're like walking up to our hotel room, but we didn't even know we were next door to each other. And I remember Chip's like, where's your hotel room? I'm just like, where's your hotel room? And he's like, mine's this way. And I was like, mine's also this way. So I don't know if he thought I was like some crazy fan like following him, because we kept like turning the same corners, going up the same stairs and everything. And he's like, okay. So I was like, yeah, that's my room. And he's like, oh, my room is right there. So I was like, oh, we're next door to each other. So I don't know, it was really funny. But yeah, we just talked about that, and he just kind of gave me advice into the paranormal and TV, you know, when TV people do approach you and stuff, and you know what I mean. And I've definitely have taken his advice, and I've definitely I've learned a lot. And you guys, like, if you guys remember, I did film a pilot episode for a TV show with my friend Brett McGinnis, and MTV were so interested in it. And it was so exciting. Sorry, I can't even talk. And this was in 2016. So if you guys want me to make a whole video about that, and because a lot of people ask me questions because I have mentioned it a few times. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. I gotta open up my advent calendar. All right, guys, what are we going to get today? It's so hard to get things. Oh, it's a child tobogganing, or is it a squirrel tobogganing? So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you rock my world in the song lyrics of Michael Jackson. Hashtag team Birdie44, hashtag Birdie, hey. And I will see you guys on Christmas Eve. Have a great weekend, and yeah, Merry Christmas. I can't believe it. So I will see you guys on Monday. Oh my God. I'll see you guys then. Bye.